Hello everyone, this is Mr. Suknil Babusai Bhairawade, the lecturer in Sharin Institute of Technology, Polytechnic, Edra. I am here with my next lecture on the topic called the heat treatment processes. In that we have covered the introductory part and the first process, that is annealing process. Okay, so as you know, in the last lecture or the last two lectures, we had covered something about what is meant by heat treatment process. That is, it is a operation or combination operation which involves heating or cooling of any metal or alloy below the its melting temperature or in a solid form. That is called heat treatment process. Okay, so we had also studied that heat treatment process have some 4 to 5 types. Okay, and those types are depend on in which cooling media we cool the heated steel or how we cool the material. Okay, on the basis of that we have 4 types. That is, first is annealing process, second is normalizing process, third is tempering process, fourth is hardening process. Okay, so first annealing process, as we know, it is a softening process. Okay, here we cool the heated material in a furnace itself or in a steady air. It is called annealing process. Next, normalizing process. Here we cool the heated material in a flowing air. In third, tempering process, when we cool the material in water, it gets hardened. Okay, we cannot control the hardness of material when we cool it in water. So that after if we have the more hardness than what we want, then we go for the tempering process. Okay, and last one, the hardening process, where we hard the material by cooling it in a water or any liquid media like brine, by oil solution. Okay, or with the help of water and air spray we can cool the material. In that, as we know, as change in cooling media, there will be a change in cooling rate. Means the cooling rate will define the output of the material. Okay, if your cooling rate is faster, your material will be harder one. If your cooling rate is slow, your output material will be softer one, as that of the initial properties. Okay, so in last lecture we had started the annealing process. Okay, in that we have total 4 types. That is full annealing, then isothermal annealing, third is a process annealing, and fourth one is a spherodizing annealing. Okay, and we had covered the 2 points from that, that is full annealing and isothermal annealing. Okay, in these 4 types you must remember what is the temperature zone. Okay, because we heat the steel for a specific temperature, for a specific temperature zone. It might be a low carbon steel, it might be a medium carbon steel, it might be a high carbon steel. Okay, you must remember the temperature zones for every process. Okay, so for full annealing, we have heated the hypoeutectoid steel above the A3 line, and then we heated the hypereutectoid steel above the A1 line. And same way our second process is isothermal annealing, where we heated the low and medium carbon steel above the A3 line. This is the difference in between those two, is that in full annealing we have cooling process in a single step. In isothermal process we had two-step cooling process. Means we have in isothermal, we have one heating process, two cooling process, and two holding processes. Means isothermal cooling required the more time to conclude the whole operation. Okay. So next two processes or the next two types of annealing are the process annealing and spherodizing annealing. As we know, annealing means it is a softening process. It can soften the hard material. Okay. So we have again 2 types, that is process annealing and spherodizing annealing. Okay. We will move to the next one. See, first, this process annealing, it can be also called as interstate annealing, or it can be also called as a subcritical annealing. These three things are one and the same thing. Okay. So process annealing or interstate annealing or subcritical annealing. See, here the first point, that is temperature range. Okay, temperature range is in between 550 degrees Celsius to 650 degrees Celsius. See what is written here, that is below A1 line. See, this is something what we had seen in our second chapter, that is iron carbon equilibrium diagram. This is a some part of that one. Okay, so see, here we have, this will be the A1 line, this is 3 line, and this is ACM line. Okay, so in this heat treatment process just we have the 3 lines, A1 line, A3 line and ACM line. So see, here temperature range is 550 degrees Celsius to 650 degrees Celsius. So it is below A1 line, because as we know A1 line have a temperature that is 727 degrees Celsius, and this range is below 727. So the temperature range is below A1 line. Okay, so see next. In process, always remember, in heat treatment, any heat treatment process, we have always three things. First, we heat something, we hold at some temperature, means the holding process, and last one is a cooling process. Okay, so every heat treatment process have the three things, that is heating, holding and cooling. Just the difference is that in every operation we heat any material or any steel to a specific temperature, we hold the steel for some time, that some time will change as per the material condition, and this cooling process will be changed as per our requirement at the output of the material. Okay, so see, in this process also we have again the three things, that is the low carbon steel is, what is meant by low carbon steel? The steel which have carbon from 0 to 0.3%. Okay, generally from 0 to 0.008% of carbon, the steel we cannot use because it is so soft and that cannot be used in a industries. Okay, so the low carbon steel is heated to a temperature below A1 line at 550 to 650 degrees Celsius. See the diagram. This zone, okay, from this 550 to this up to 650 700, this zone will be of process annealing. Okay, and see here from 0 to something about 0.3% of carbon. So this area, whole area will be of only low carbon steel, and the temperature zone is 500 to 650, or we can go up to 700 degrees Celsius. Okay, so when we heat it up to 550 and 650 degrees Celsius, see here we have some heating temperature and time graph. So this will be the heating process of up to where 550 to 650. Okay, at this temperature we remain there for some time period, and that process is called holding process, or we can say soaking process. What is the purpose of holding process? To get same temperature throughout the material. Because when we heat any material, its outer part get heated earlier and its inner part will have some low temperature as compared with the outer part. Okay, so we hold the material here at some specific temperature, okay, to have a uniform temperature throughout the material, or to have homogeneous temperature throughout the material. Okay, next, cooled usually in air up to room temperature. See, cooled usually in air, this air will be a steady air, means the velocity will be constant one and it will be a low. Okay, so see here we have written that controlled cooling means this heated steel which is at temperature around 650 to 550, that can be cooled up to room temperature in a steady air. That room temperature will be our atmospheric temperature, that is up to 20 degrees Celsius or up to 30 degrees Celsius as per the environmental conditions. So in this process we have three steps: heating, holding and cooling. Oh, see, what is the difference between the first three? In first two, we heated the material above A1 line, above A3 line, means we heat the steel above 727 degree Celsius. In this process, we heat the steel below 727 degree Celsius, and as you know, in general, when we heat the material above 727, there is a phase change. Means below this A1 line we have perlite phase, and above this we have austenite phase. Okay, so when we heat any material above 727, its phase will going to change, and hence in this process we cannot heat the material or heat the steel above 727 degrees Celsius. So there is no phase transformation. You are getting or not? As we are heating below 727 degrees Celsius, there is no phase transformation. This is the difference in these first two and this third one. Okay, so in third process, that is process annealing, there is no phase transformation, means in heating also you have the same phase, for holding also you have the same phase, and for the cooling also you have the same phase. Meant at the initial, at the final we got the same phase, or we can say for the whole process we have the same phase only. There is no phase transformation in the process annealing. Okay, so next we'll go to the next slide. See what written here, it does not involve any phase change and the constituents ferrite and cementate, that is called perlite, remains same in a whole process. So when we heat steel below A1, there is no phase transformation. When we heat steel above A1, that is above 727, there will be a phase change, because at A1 line we have eutectoid temperature, means what, it changes when heating, it changes from perlite to austenite or ferrite to austenite, and when cooling we got austenite to ferrite or austenite to perlite. Okay, so application used for mild steel where carbon from 0.1 to 0.3%. Here we have taken 0.1 to 0.3 because from 0 to 0.1% carbon is, it is not generally used in the industries. Okay, so it is not in practical use. Next will be spheroidizing annealing. This word spheroidize means it is something which have spherical shape or something which have round shape. It is called spheroids, or we can say globules, or we can say something which have the rounded shape or something which have the spherical shape. Okay, so see, introduction. This heat treatment is given to high carbon steels or on an air hardening alloy steel to soften them and to increase the machinability. As we know, high carbon steel means the steel which have carbon from 0.6% to 1.5% of carbon. Okay, so these high carbon steels have the high hardness because of the high percentage of carbon. As they have the high hardness, in general they must have the low machinability, they have low ductility, they have low malleability. So to get or to increase their machinability, we go for this process, that is spheroidizing annealing. And same way we have air hardening alloy steel. Okay, in air hardening alloy steel, if we have the velocity of air is somewhat higher, then the hardness of that material or that alloy get increased too much, and that can be decreased, and that can be decreased with the help of this spheroidizing annealing. Why the name is something like spheroidizing annealing? Because see, the microstructure given by this heat treatment shows the globules, or you can say rounded particles of the cementite. Cementite is the hardest phase in iron carbon equilibrium diagram, but when it have the globular shape, in general the cementite have the linear shapes. Okay, but when it forms into the globules, or when it forms into the rounded particles or rounded shapes, they are something softer ones. Okay, so see, any heat treatment that produces a structure of the above type, means of the globules or of the rounded particles or the spheroids, are called spheroidizing or spheroidizing annealing. Okay, in this process cementite from perlite comes together and form a very small particles of globules or spheroids, that is called rounded shapes. Means in spheroidizing annealing, the cementite changes its shapes from linear form to the rounded forms. Okay, and that rounded form have the high softness and low hardness. Next, this is a process again same. See, every heat treatment process have the three things, as you know, the heating, holding and cooling process. Okay, so see here. First, here the temperature zone is here below and above the A1 line, means the we will heat the steel below and above the 727 degrees Celsius. So the zone will be from 700 to something somewhere about 750 degrees Celsius. So 700 to 750 degrees Celsius, this will be our temperature zone for this spheroidizing annealing, and this is prolonged heating, means we heat the steel in this zone for a long period of time, and there will be a cyclic heating. Cyclic heating means we heat the material, again we cool it, again we heat the material, again, means cooling and heating will be in the range of just 50 degrees Celsius. Okay, that will be called as a cyclic heating. Okay, see, prolonged heating at a temperature just below A1 line and temperature is varied slightly above and below the A1 line, means this will be the temperature zone where we want to heat the high carbon steel for long period of time, and it will be higher and lower as per the condition. Okay, so next, holding process, hold at this temperature for some time to get homogeneous. This line will be the same for every treatment process, because we always hold the steel at this at any temperature for some time to get homogeneous structure. Because at initial, when we heat any something up to 700 degrees Celsius, at any initial at 700, there is no homogeneity in the material, because there is a difference between the temperature of the outer surface and temperature of the inner surface. So we must stay there for some period of time to get homogeneous structure or to get uniform structure. Okay, so next, cooling with a slow rate up to room temperature. Here we must cool with the slow rate, because always at initial we have high carbon steel. If we want the soft high carbon steel, we must cool it with a slow cooling rate. So at the end, at this final stage, I will get the high carbon steel with the more softness, so that its machinability can increase. Okay, next, purpose of nor purpose, so sorry, here it is wrongly written. So purpose of spheroidizing is good machinability. Second, it improve the ductility due to spheroidal structure. And third, improvement in formability. See, high carbon steel cannot be formed into any shapes, and so by applying this process we can form it into different shapes. Applications: high carbon steel and air hardening alloy steel. Okay, so this is for the annealing process. Here we have covered all four types of annealing. Okay, so thank you one and all.